4 filler tanks have been announced for this year's Christmas boxes. I'm going to be talking about all 4 of them, tell you my opinion on them, and if it's worth getting, or if you should just skip out on them this year. The first is the T-26A Artillery, or T-26-4. It was a modified version of the T-26 and was armed with a 76mm KT-28 howitzer. The 5 prototypes were tested, but in the end, due to poor testing results, the project was halted. My personal opinion on the vehicle is that for a Tier 3, it has a lot of alpha, though it has pretty much nothing else. It would be a cool low-tier derp gun, but will most likely not bother with it. Next, the A-20 was a British infantry tank that was developed during 1939. It was an attempt to replace the Matilda II and Valentine tanks. 100 of them were ordered, but the order was later cancelled. Only 2 prototypes were ever built, and both later subsequently scrapped. The A-20 depicted in World of Tanks seemed to have a fictitious turret, which is quite stupid in my opinion, since it wouldn't hurt them to add the real turret the A-20 would have held. Overall, for a Tier 4, the A-20 wouldn't be very special. It has a good gun depression angles, and its armor might hold up against some tanks, but it's very slow and massive. It seems to be like it would be a lackluster vehicle at best. Next, the Panzerkampfwagen T-34 747R was a modified, captured T-34 that was fitted with a commander's cupola. The Panzerkampfwagen seems like another T-34 with a giant cupola weak spot this time, so it doesn't really seem that efficient. I personally won't be getting it, but if you're a collector, go for it. Developed as part of the E-Series, the E-10 was developed to replace the Jagdtiger 38T or Hetzer, like how the E-25 was to replace all Panzer IIIs and Panzer IVs. The main goal of the program was to make tanks more efficient, simple, and cheaper to produce than their predecessors. E-10 was the lightest of the bunch, intending to be 10 through 25 tons. The E-10 was supposed to be equipped with a short 7.5mm PAK-39L48 gun. The most interesting part of the E-10 was its ability to lower its hull by controlling its suspension units. Sadly, no E-10 prototype was ever completed before the end of the war. The E-10 depicted in World of Tanks sadly seems to not incorporate the cool suspension mechanism, even though they used the E-10 to test the Swedish tank destroyer line's hydropneumatic suspension mechanic. The E-10 does have a good gun for a Tier 5 though, having an impressive DPM of 2357 but poor standard penetration of 91. The E-10 is very sneaky though, having 25.25% base camo while stationary and 15.16% while moving. Though with the poor view range of 280 meters, it is blind without its teammates. Overall, of the 4, this tank is the most fun-looking and appealing, and I look forward to it being released. Hopefully you enjoyed learning about these new filler tanks, and if you support the channel, I'd really appreciate you liking and subscribing. Thanks for watching.